I am joined today by Andy Gore, the CEO of Soccer Manager, a top 10 holding in Mercia's direct investment portfolio. Soccer Manager develops and publishes mobile games where players manage football teams and compete against each other, together with an online gaming platform and forum. Andy, pleasure to meet you. Please, could you introduce yourself and Soccer Manager, please?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So I'm Andy Gore, the CEO and co-founder of Soccer Manager, and I've been making computer games for over 20 years now, football games, pretty much all the time through. And I co-founded Soccer Manager in 2004 with my brothers. So it's been like a family-run business and still is throughout all this time. And we did it with sort of like a vision or a mission to sort of bring football games to as many people as we could so they could enjoy them in as many countries as we possibly could. And we sort of saw the route to that through the combination of mobile, internet and football, even though mobile was early back then, but we saw that would eventually come through. So we started as web, then transitioned to mobile, and that's where we are today.
Soccer Manager operates in a very popular space, as you've just alluded to. How have you managed to differentiate Soccer Manager from other football games, so Football Manager and FIFA? And why have they not dominated the mobile space? And how has this created an opportunity for you?
Yeah, both of those games were around when we started. So we kind of have a sort of a bit of a different angle and a different platform, I would say. So Football Manager, as an example, is predominantly desktop, PC orientated, and it's more of a hardcore simulator, and it's a lot more in depth, mainly because it's got the PC, has got higher specifications, where we've sort of gone through predominantly mobile, and we have made it it's still a proper management simulation, but it's a little bit more casual and more orientated around mobile quick play, even though people do spend a lot of time in it. And FIFA is a little bit of a different game, more of an arcade game, so we've managed to differentiate for that, a different type of game. They are quite popular on mobile. However, it being a different game, it's in our space, and there's lots of other football games as well. There's always a little bit of variance on different things. So our actual sort of audience is more of a manager, hardcore audience, hardcore for mobile, I would say, more of a simulation for mobile and at the right level for a mobile device. And that's our area that we've kind of carved out.
And lockdowns have boosted many games businesses. Has Soccer Manager benefited from heightened demand over the past 18 months? And has this left a legacy beyond the end of lockdown?
We have benefited, yeah. We've had an uplift in both users to our games and also the engagement that those users spend in the games. We spent more time, probably got a lot more time on the hands. So we have benefited in the respect of users' growth and user engagement. The legacy, I think, I think the games industry as a whole was just on that natural trend. It's been growing consistently every year for many, many years now, and that trend's just continuing. And it's the accessibility was there when everybody was locked down, so they had more time. So I think the legacy would be that more people maybe just got into it a little bit faster, playing games. But going forward, the legacy, there's a lot of platforms. So the games industry, when mobiles come out, it makes it more accessible. The next things will be augmented reality games, a bit more of your Pokemon Go type things. Your virtual realities come in. So it's like the accessibility, even if you're not locked down, it's going to increase and expand. So games will be wherever you are as well. So it's just on a constant, like the legacy was just a trend. This is just a little bit of a mini boost, I guess, to what was happening anyhow.
Yeah, so I was going to say that the game sector is ever present. It's going to be a $220 billion industry, I think, in a couple of years' time, and growing at 7.5% for the next 3 years as well. So, yeah, there's a big opportunity in the game sector for all, lots of different participants coming from lots of different directions.
Absolutely, yeah.
Earlier this year, you secured a further £3 million led by Mercia to drive growth, following Mercia's initial investment in 2015. Why did you choose investment from Mercia, and how has Mercia's investment helped you on your journey?
To answer that kind of a little bit in reverse, helping us on our journey, so the initial investment where it helped us was sort of helping us transition from web to mobile, because this was quite a long time ago now, like about 6-7 years ago, and we were transitioning from a multiplayer web-based game into a single-player mobile game. And we weren't able to the revenue, there's a bit of a bridge between the revenue gap, whereas mobile advertising, our advertising revenue is predominantly our revenue model is predominantly advertising on the web, and advertising hadn't really moved into mobile at the time, even though everybody was moving into mobile. So we had a little bit of a gap, and Mercia kind of filled that gap. And the recent round, it just made sense to sort of still be with the same people. Mercia have got a model that sort of from seed all the way through the growth. So it's like it's already mapped out for us that we could use that. And the second reason was that the sort of Mercia had the same vision and supporting that vision. They understood it and they're on the same vision. And they were helping us with that. They're also introducing us to sort of high-level investors, high-level help in terms of advisors. And we've had quite a few advisors come in and put us in the right track on different things. So it's been very helpful from a non-money point of view as well, I would say.
Oh, brilliant. And what did that £3 million actually deliver? So, was that growth capital or?
Growth capital, yeah. So and we're also on a sort of a journey now where we're trying to change our sort of model from using user-generated content into more of an authentic type of game. So we've got the licenses, the FIFA Pro license that we acquired, partnerships with football clubs, partnerships with some national leagues. So we're using the money for that, as well as increasing our advertising spend, as well as building out the games to be into new markets.
Fantastic. And that sort of neatly segues into the final question. What are your ambitions for Soccer Manager? Where do you hope to take the business next?
Yeah, there's a few sort of directions with this. And we've on one sort of trajectory, we're going to looking at the Far East and also Southeast Asia. We've seen a bit of an uppick recently in their markets. So the ones that we can put some time and effort into and grow the games there, our current games. We also, we've got plans to make another type of game, which is a bit of a new sort of direction for us. We always try, every so often we try another type of game, which is a little bit different from the hardcore management. So we've got one of those in the pipeline.
So a second title to sit alongside Soccer Manager.
That's right, yeah. And we're also looking at some old IP that we've had around. So we're going to reboot Soccer Manager Worlds is going to get a reboot. That was the original game from 17 years ago. So yeah, a few different fronts there really. New countries, new game, and looking at some old legacy IP that we've got.
Well, fantastic. Well, yeah, and Andy, thank you very much for your time today, and we wish you every success with Soccer Manager and the challenges and journey ahead.
Thanks, Richard, and it's good to talk to you today.
Yeah, pleasure to meet you too. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.